For this project, the wood of choice is ash. I want to make 2 dining chairs. Actually, I have to make more than 2, but I am limited by the space in my workshop, so I decided to go with only 2 at once. For now I am preparing the back legs, the front legs and the aprons, and later I will go with the top rails and the seats. Getting the pieces to the right thickness was plain and simple, but with a lot of wood chips. This thing makes a lot of mess around my shop. Let's not talk about the dust it makes. I definitely need a dust extraction system, but for now I am relying on a cardboard box and my good old broom. The thickness I am aiming for is around 4 centimeters, which is roughly 1.5 bald eagles. I'm making sure from now on to also include from time to time imperial conversions in my videos for better understanding, because most of my audience is from the US and I'm super grateful for this, the same as I am for everyone who is following me through my woodworking journey. The next thing is to transfer the shape of the template on the boards and cut most of the material on my table saw. I make sure not to cut all the way through the board and cut the rest with the jigsaw. The more I work with weird shapes, the more I feel the need for a bandsaw, and surely I would have cut these shapes faster. I am securing the template on the piece with double-sided tape and cutting them on my router to their final shape. The resulting pieces are not so great, but thick enough so I can correct this issue through sanding. Before I move to the joinery, I first must get the aprons and the front legs to their final width and cut them to their final length. For the joinery I am going with the mortise and tenon on the back legs, and for the front legs I am going with the bridle joints. For the top rail I am using shop-made dominoes. I could have joined everything with dominoes, but mortise and tenon joints are much stronger even though they take a little bit of time to make. I wish my problems in life could disappear like this. It didn't fit on the first try, but I quickly removed some of the thickness of the tenon, which must be around 12 mm, which is about a half of an inch. The only thing left is to round over the edges of the tenon. I could have just kept the edges of the tenon and cut in the mortise some corners with the chisel, but I think I am cutting some corners this way. Before I glue everything together, I have to make a nice model on the aprons, and I think it will offer a nice look on the chairs. Also, I cut a taper on the front legs, followed by a light pass on the planer to even out the marks of the table saw blade. For this one I had to make some grooves with the knife, so the air trapped inside will be released. I am securing everything using one clamp for each piece and another only to adjust things. I also had to fix a crack. The glue will take care of that. All the things got together nicely and I ended up with 4 2D chairs, and they are one step closer to the third dimension. I am knocking all the edges off with a round over bit, and this changes completely the look of the chairs. I am also cutting some slots where the wedges will be inserted and lock everything together tight. Through this method, I think the chairs will be able to withstand greater loads without starting to fall apart. And even if the wood glue fails over time, the wedges will keep them together, or at least until they will be fixed back. Just to let you know, making chairs is a first for me. What I find difficult is the back part, which you must make at a certain angle so it will be comfortable sitting on. It must be not too inclined or not too straight, because it may cause discomfort. The rest is pretty straightforward, basically the same rules as making a table. The chairs are a bit tall, so I must cut around 3 centimeters from the legs. By doing this, I am also leveling the legs so the chairs won't rock, and I have to do this on my router table, this being the most flat thing on my workshop. After the glue was set, I cut all the ends of the wedges and smoothed out the rest with the chisel. I glued up the parts which form the seats off camera, and now I only have to mark and cut the shapes of the back legs into them, and also do a roundover on the edges. I gotta say, I am pretty proud of how the seats mold into the legs. This makes for an interesting look. Everything is prepared for sanding, but not until I make 2 strips of ash, which I will attach to the side aprons on every chair, on which I will secure the seats with screws. The slots will allow the boards to move freely, if any wood movement happens. I first sand everything with the orbital sander, and after I will manually sand all the edges to make sure that they turn out silky smooth. And let's not forget about the chamfer on the bottom of the legs. This will prevent any wood chipping. Am I the only one who enjoys this? For the finish, I use hardtop oil. I am applying 2 coats with sanding in between. This oil is usually used on kitchen tops, and it forms a hard finish that can withstand scratches. Or at least this is what they claim on the label. If you managed to get so far through my video, I want to thank you, and maybe hit the like button, and also leave a comment and share your thoughts below. If you are new here, maybe you'll consider subscribing. All this will help me a lot.